I'm Kelly Mitchell, the caffeinator, and you're listening to Agent Caffeine, fuel for the real estate industry. We bring in the people who help make business better and deliver practical conversations to help you. We're broadcasting from Marin County, California today. And tonight, episode 214, Mission Critical Marketing with Travis Robertson. The real estate industry has a job on its hands to address the missile-like trajectory of the consumer. Consumers are adapting to information, data, technology faster than ever before, and the fire hose of information at times is not enough for them. We as an industry need to be more adept at delivering what they need, anticipating their thought processes with our marketing, and continuing to evolve and grow our adaptation of processes. Today, Travis Robertson of Robertson Coaching International is with us to discuss more on the topic. We're going to get deep into marketing. We're going to get deep into getting more listings with marketing, selling luxury with marketing, and the changing landscape of luxury marketing and more. So I'd love to welcome Travis to the show. Travis, how are you?
I'm doing great, Kelly. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you to the Agent Caffeine crowd for being here. I'm really looking forward to this, so thank you so much.
Excellent. We are too. We are absolutely thrilled to have you here. So, things are changing really fast. This mobile consumer, the mobile consumer is like a shotgun out of a missile. And
Yeah.
and it's like we as an industry for real estate, we historically have had a hard time just adapting to new things. Now it's a matter of not only adapting, but catching up to where the consumer is. What kinds of things do people need to be thinking about to kind of set the stage for their marketing at this stage of the game?
You know what, Kelly, great question. I think that for people to really realize this, they have to think like consumers. I think what's happened is agents have not put themselves in the shoes of the consumer. So just to kind of give you a personal example, last weekend my wife and I were out looking for a new house. And we're just kind of shopping around. We're starting the process. We're probably about 6 months, 8 months down the road, but we're just kind of getting our feet wet, seeing what's out there, looking at different areas. And so we acted like the typical consumer. We were driving around a neighborhood. We had the Trulia app, the Zillow app opened up. We're looking at different things, contacting the agents, and I'll tell you, it was speed to lead more than anything else. If somebody responded quickly to us, like this person knows what they're doing, they're on top of it, but I had people that weren't contacting me for 24, 48 hours, and in my mind, I'm going, you already lost me. If I was ready to go, you lost that opportunity to connect with me because you're not thinking like me. You're thinking like an agent of the past, and I think too often agents are looking at technology as a way of simplifying the process rather than looking at, okay, how do I increase my ability to get in front of consumers? How do I work hard at leveraging technology? Technology is not the be-all, end-all. It's not going to solve your problems. If you suck at marketing, all you're going to do is you're going to suck at marketing online. If you're not good at connecting with consumers, you're just going to be not good at doing it using technology. And so what happens is I think people thought, well, I'll just get on Trulia, I'll get on Zillow, I'll be the preferred agent, people are going to reach out to me, and it's going to be great. It's going to solve all of my problems. And technology is not that way. And I think too many technology companies are marketing their products and their services as the fix for agents in their marketing, and it's not. They're tools. They're not the fix to their marketing. And I think until agents realize that they have to put themselves in the mind of a consumer and realize how do they search, what do they do, how do I get in front of them, and how do I get to them quickly and with the information that they want, agents are going to lose, and the ones who figure that out are going to be the winners moving forward.
And it may not be a bad idea for them to actually do what you've done and what I've recently done as well, which is to be the consumer, to see what it feels like to be on that other side of the fence, because it is not a fun process.
No, and I think that's a great idea, and it really would benefit agents to go, okay, I'm going to pretend for a day, go out on a Saturday, a Sunday, whatever it is, and say, okay, I'm going to pretend for a day to be a consumer. Nobody has to know who you are, right? Walk into open houses, drive around, look at things, and go, what would my experience with this be? I'll be honest, it sucks. Half the time, it's a horrible experience. You walk into an open house, and it feels like somebody died. You're like, well, am I allowed to speak in here? Like, what's going on? It's just an awful, miserable experience most of the time. And people wonder why, people don't like realtors and why they don't want to contact a realtor, because half the time it's just a miserable experience.
And then you have that flaky aspect too. Like I mean, you're thinking if you're on a mobile app, I'm going to get an immediate response because they put themselves out there. Obviously, they're paying money for that preferred slot, so they'll be responsive right away, and they're just
Right.
not doing that yet.
They're not. They're not, and yet they blame Trulia, they blame Zillow, they blame the platform rather than taking personal responsibility. So, as an example, not only did I sometimes not get called for 24 to 48 hours after I submitted the request for information, I would get called once, and then nobody's called me back more than one time. And some people haven't even contacted me, and I guarantee those are the same people that are sitting in my sessions bitching about the platform, going, "Oh, this sucks. Zillow's terrible. I've not gotten a good qualified lead." And you can't fix that. I mean, at the end of the day, technology is not going to fix your business problems. You are who said it? I can't remember who said it, but they said most business problems are personal problems in disguise. And so most of your business problems are problems with yourself and how you follow up, how you work, how you engage the consumer, how you think through the problems and the challenges that you have, and then how you personally choose to take responsibility and address those challenges.
So we've got issues.
Yeah.
And so when people are looking, like, I mean, one of the topics of discussion is to how to get more listings by marketing more effectively. It really sounds like before we get to that, we need to peel away the layers of who we are and what kind of business person we are and what kind of standards we've set ourselves up for, and take a hard look at that.
I do. I mean, look, I say this all the time. There's not a single one of us, even the entire Agent Caffeine world, together, we can't change the world's perception of real estate agents. We can't. So as long as the world's perception is down here, what we need to do is we need to look at how we market ourselves to separate ourselves from everybody else so that people are drawn to working with you. They're attracted. They want to work with you. They seek you out because you appear so different than everybody else that's out there. That's really what marketing is intended to be. And the very first step in all of this is recognizing that you are the brand. Yes, you can be a part of a big national brand or a local boutique brand or whatever it is, but at the end of the day, they're choosing to work with a person, not a brand. And until you start thinking about what is everybody's brand experience with you, from the time that they talk to you on the phone to this, how you respond, how you sound on a voicemail, how you present yourself, especially when we're talking luxury, by the way. So I know we're going to get into luxury, but when you're getting into luxury, if you don't understand branding, you will never succeed in luxury, because everything at the luxury level is strictly about brand perception. From the agent to the company to the clothes you wear to the car you drive, everything is at a brand perspective because it's a very brand aware group of people. So you've got to start thinking from a brand, and there's a big myth out there that the consumer defines what your brand is. That's not accurate. You're the one who gets to say what it is. The consumer tells you if you're right. That's a kind of an idea from a buddy of mine. Yeah, it's not an original idea. It's a buddy of mine by the name of John Morgan who wrote a book called Brand Against the Machine. And it's a best-selling book on branding. I'd encourage people to go check it out. But it's his concept, and he says, look, I don't walk up to you and go, "Hey, Kelly," and you go, "Travis, tell me what you do." I'm like, "I don't know. You tell me. What do I do?" That's not how it is. I tell you what I do. I tell you what that experience should be, and you get to tell me, am I right or not? And so you've got to start looking at, what do I want to be perceived as? And then your consumers are going to tell you, your clients are going to tell you, yes, that's accurate, or no, it's not. And everything you do, online, offline, has to be taken into account that you are the brand, and what is everybody's perception from beginning to end with you and that interaction with you.
Now, how do they lay the groundwork for, I mean, because I think a lot of people have an idea of where they want to go, but they're not sure how to get there. They know what they want to be, but they don't know what kinds of things they need to put in place to be able to head in that direction. Do you have recommendations for where they should start with that?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of talk about it in phases, is that everybody you work with is going to go through 5 phases. If you do your job correctly, they're going to go from phase 1 all the way through to phase 5, and your marketing has an opportunity to drive people through those 5 phases. So phase 1 is lead generation, and it's all about how are you going to generate new leads. So you've got to look at your brand and how people perceive you at the lead generation phase. Why would somebody reach out to you? What makes you different than everybody else out there? The second phase is how you're going to nurture that lead. What we know is online leads are anywhere from 8 to 26 months out from being ready to buy or to sell. So what are you going to do to nurture them during that time, to set yourself up as the expert, to set yourself up as somebody who the consumer wants to work with? What are you going to do to differentiate yourself from all the other realtors, such as, hey, follow up with me more than one time before you give up on me, because maybe I was just busy when you called and I didn't recognize the number, right? So what are you going to do to nurture that lead until they're ready to move forward? Then we've got the conversion process. Phase 3 is how are you going to convert me into a client? So what is your conversion plan going to look like? What are you going to send me? What are you going to give me? What are you going to tell me? What are you going to do for me? How are you going to, when I say, hey, I want to talk with you about buying this next house, selling my existing house, all these other things, what are you going to do to say, make me convinced that you're the realtor I should be working with? What does that plan look like? Then the fourth phase, what are you going to do to service me? How are you going to serve me as your client? What is everybody's biggest fear when working with a realtor, right? I'm going to sign up with a realtor, and then they're going to ignore me, and I'm going to have to hunt them down. And they're if something, they're not going to be honest with me. They're going to tell me, you should really reduce the price of your house because they're not doing the marketing that they're going to do. So all the fears that I would have, your consumers are going to have. And so you've got to be thinking, what do I need to do to service my clients more effectively so that I generate repeat and referral business? Because everybody wants repeat and everybody wants word of mouth, right? Everybody goes, oh, word of mouth, but so few people do anything worth talking about. Right? You've got to do something that people talk about. And then the fifth phase, which is, I'd say the number one area where most agents' businesses fail in today's world is phase 2, that follow-up. The second big phase, though, is phase 5, which is the post-sale marketing. So after I'm done, after I've sold my house, bought my next house, what are you going to do to stay top of mind with me? How are you going to provide me value after the sale so that when somebody does go, hey, who was your realtor? Or, yeah, we're thinking about buying a house or we're thinking about selling. They don't even have to ask me who my realtor was. I go, oh my gosh, you've got to call so-and-so because they were amazing. Here's everything that they did. They walked us through the process. I mean, they helped us get top dollar for a house. Man, they were on top of every new listing that hit because we know listing inventory is low in most markets. So you've got to be not just speed to lead, but you've got to be speed to offer. You've got to be in there with a strong offer with your clients. You've got to get your clients in to see the house because the longer you delay, the harder it's going to be for your clients to get in there and present an offer that's not already under contract, or at least kind of offer accepted, waiting now to make sure that it is going to go into escrow. So you've got all these challenges out there, and realtors are kind of sitting back just going, well, gee, I sure hope it works out. And it's unfortunate, and it's not how it. Look, everybody owns a business. You're a business owner. You are the CEO of your own business. Most of us, if we're honest, would fire ourselves. If you work for yourself, if you start thinking about, wait a minute, I'm the CEO of a business. If I walked into my own business acting like I'm currently acting, showing up at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, rolling in whenever, leaving at 3, how would I feel as a traditional business owner if I hired someone? I'd fire them. I get in every day to my office by 8 o'clock every single day. Why? Our office doesn't even open till 8:30. The first people don't show up till 8:30. But what do I want to see when they walk? What do I want them to see when they walk in? Me. I want them to know that I'm there. I come in earlier. I stay later. That's what a business owner does. And yet too many people are not doing that in this industry, and yet wondering why I can't succeed.
And I think that combined with the fact that a lot of us are still relying on old school tactics. We're still too reliant. We're hiding behind email. We're hiding behind email that somebody else wrote that's not even ours. We're hiding behind drip campaigns. We're hiding behind, let me just send you every property that comes up sort of thing. And you can tell that it's not meant for you. It's just they're sending you whatever.
Yeah.
So, so when we're talking about marketing, and we're talking about marketing from the standpoint of, and I love the 5 phases that you gave us, because that right there should give almost everybody who's listening a couple of weeks worth of work.
Right. I mean, if you just went through each one of those phases and said, how do people experience me in phase 1, in phase 2, and I mean, that's business right there. That's everything you need in business to succeed, basically in 5 phases right there.
And that's going to be a brutal reality if people are honest with themselves, or if they, I mean, I almost want to tell them too to ask a friend to sit through a process, a phase with them, and have that friend be candid.
Yeah.
About what they're going through.
Get somebody who doesn't like you to sit through the phase. Too many people.
Your last horrible client.
Yeah, I mean, why everybody should call their clients that they've lost, should call the clients after the deal is done and go, what could I have done better? I do this. I just sent out an email to every single one of my clients, and I didn't sugarcoat it. I didn't go, hey, tell me what I'm doing really well, because I don't. Look, I know what I do well. If I'm honest with myself, I know my strengths. What I want to hear is from the clients, what could we be doing better? So I sent a list of 5 questions to every single one of our clients, and I said, I need you to be brutally honest. You're not going to hurt my feelings, and I'll keep it anonymous. Like, you can tell me about who you're coaching with, what's going on, what could we be doing better, what do you see our competitors doing that you wish we did, what do you think, what are we missing, what could we do better to make you happier and more successful? And so unless you're willing to ask the tough questions, you're never going to get to that level in your business where you go, man, I've got a business that's creating consistent, predictable income, and that I'm passionate about, that I'm excited about, and that people are passionate about and want to tell everybody else about. So
love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, so front-facing marketing. Front-facing marketing, we've kind of got, theoretically, we've got our brand down a little bit. We've got it validated. We're feeling kind of confident. We want to kind of put it out there. Now we're looking at the channels, the overwhelming amount of channels. We've got the digital channels. We've got the bus stops and billboards and newspapers and radio stations and television stations, and the list goes on and on. Yeah. Where the heck are people supposed to go, and how are they supposed to manage this? I mean, many of the agents are like one-off entrepreneurs. They don't have a conglomerate behind them supporting them, and I think for them it's got to be the most overwhelming task in the world.
It is, and I'll tell you, one of the things that I think is a disservice from my industry is when my industry tells meaning the coaching industry tells agents, hey, top producers have anywhere between 12 to 15 different lead sources, so you've got to have 12 to 15 different lead sources. And I think that is one of the biggest misinformation things out there, is that, do they have 12 to 15 different lead sources? Yes. Did they start with 12 to 15 different lead sources? No. And this is what we have to realize, is that just throwing your energy and your time and your money at 12 to 15 things is never going to make you a top producer. Just because you have 12 to 15 lead sources doesn't even mean, as a top producing agent or team, that you're focused on all 12 to 15. Most people operate under what's called Pareto's principle, right? The 80-20 rule. 20% of their lead sources are going to generate 80% of their leads. This is even true of top producers with, let's take 15 different lead sources. What's 20% of 15? 3. So most agents in that top producer sphere, they will focus their energy on 3 lead sources, because they know those 3 lead sources are going to generate 80% of the leads that they're going to get throughout the year. The other 80% or the other 12 or 80% of lead sources, right, are going to create leads almost automatically, whether they do anything with them or not. So you can set some of these things up. So what you have to first identify is what is going to make the most amount of sense for your business. I would encourage most agents, focus on only 3 lead generating tactics in any 12-month cycle. Doesn't mean you can't change it, doesn't mean you can't go, oh, that one's not really working like I wanted to, so I'm going to change it. But you only have so much time, so much energy. Like you said, Kelly, these are people who, they don't have a big team, they don't have a big staff, they don't have 6 assistants running around going, hey, what can I do? So if, as a solo person, What do you need to focus on? Well, it depends on where your business is. So if you are an agent with no money, no budget, and you're just starting out, guess what? You get to do the time-intensive activities like sitting open houses, because they still work if you do them correctly. Door knocking around those open houses, dropping off flyers, engaging with the neighbors, doing a neighborhood, like a neighbor preview for those open houses. You know, look, social media, I love social media, but social media is rarely going to generate a lead for you tomorrow. And if you need business tomorrow, it's time to get out of your comfort zone and go do the things that most agents aren't willing to do. Call FSBOs, call expireds. Is it old school? Yeah, but at what point did old school become a bad word? Just because it's older new doesn't mean good, by the way. New, just because something's new does not make it the best thing out there, the best strategy out there. Look, we all love shiny, we all love new, and I'm sure most of your audience, they're like me, you know, we love technology. We're always on the bleeding edge of technology because we're like, oh, it's shiny, it's new, it's incredible, it's awesome. But the reality is that's not where most business comes from in the beginning of your career. Now, as you progress, you can start to put things in like Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, Facebook advertising, which we're huge fans of. Our clients are using for listing generation. Facebook ads are killing it right now. You know, you've got the breakdowns, the market leaders, all sorts of things that are available. But if you're brand new and you don't have the budget, guess what you're going to do, right? You know, am I echoing here?
Let's see. Your the audio went a little wonky for a second, but I think we're back.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened.
No problem.
So,
it could be me too.
is it still wonky?
Let's see. Test
I'm
1, 2,
hearing
3.
myself on your side.
You're hearing yourself on my side. Let me try. Okay, so this has happened in the past, and we'll just edit this out. The beautiful thing about recording in advance. I'm going to close a couple of windows. Also, if you have any Google Plus windows open, go ahead and close those.
All right.
Except for the one that, of course, we're talking on. Okay. Is that any better?
Let's see. Nope, still hearing myself over there.
Still hearing. And do you have any Google windows open besides the Hangout?
No, closed them all.
Close them all. Okay, let me try one more thing here. Okay, try one more time, Travis.
Check. Nope, still hearing it.
Oh, Google, we hate you some days and we love you other days.
Isn't that the truth?
Okay. Any chance you have a headset available?
Let me see. Hang on one second.
Okay. They need a pause button on this.
They really do.
Don't they, though?
Let's see. I do.
Yeah, I just noticed that the picture was going back and forth between us, and that seems to be about the time it started happening.
You know, here, let me try this.
So sorry about
myself real quick and unmute.
Okay.
All right, check.
Check.
Oh, there it is again. All right, so here I have a headset.
Okay.
That fixes it.
Hopefully that will help. I've got all my Google windows, and that's usually what the culprit is, shut down. I don't know what else it could be at this point. Let's see.
Check. Nope, still hearing it.
Okay, hang on. I'm going to close something else down. Get these. Okay. Test 1, 2.
Check. Still hearing myself.
That is so weird. Okay. Okay, one more thing to try. The other thing that I would recommend is, can you go out of this Hangout and come back? Sometimes that helps. So just close the window and click that link that you used to come in.
All right. All right. One second. Let me get my link back up here.
Okay.
All right. I'll be right back.
I'll be right here.
All right, let's see if this works. Oh, it's not.
Oh, okay.
Do you have the headset on your side by any chance?
Do you know I have a headset, so let me see if I put mine on, if that does anything. Now I'm going to look like ET, but that's okay.
All right, check.
Is that better?
Yep, it fixed it.
Oh my God, okay. Yay!
Yay.
Okay, we're going to rock the headset. I wish I had Beats.
Right, there you go. There you go. It would look so much cooler, wouldn't it?
Totally, totally. They've got something going on there. That's a good brand.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, speaking of Beats, so my wife is pregnant, and she's putting her registry on Amazon.com for the baby registry. And so I went on there and I started putting stuff into the registry for myself just to see if she would notice. So I put like some Dre Beats in there, and I put a whole bunch of 49er gear for the baby and all sorts of things.
Oh my God.
And all of a sudden she comes to me and she goes, "What is all of this on, like, did you put all this on the registry?" I was like, "Yeah." And she goes, "Why?" I'm like, "Because the Beats will be great when the baby's crying, and then on football Sunday she'll have an outfit. It's going to be great."
I love it.
Because you're going to look like such a jerk. I'm like, no, people will get it. They'll think it's funny.
I think it's awesome. So when's the baby due?
She's due in June.
Oh, how exciting. That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. You're very smart. The Beats, these are really helpful because you can't hear anything.
That's what I figured. I figured this is a great idea. She thought it was kind of the jerky thing to do.
Depends on your role as a parent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's see.
All right.
Shall we dive into, I love that we were talking about the coaching aspect because, let's face it, out there, and I have had a few coaches in my real estate career and beyond, and I would say that there are as many snake oil salespeople out there offering coaching. There's probably a lot more than there are real good, true coaches. So. Mm-hmm. So how do people identify a good coaching program? Like, what do they look for?
Fantastic question. Couple of things. Number one is to understand the difference between coaching and training. And I think this is where people get hung up, is a lot of agents get into a coaching program because what they really need is training. And a bad coaching program will actually sell you into their coaching program even though they don't provide training. And a lot of agents go, well, and we get this all the time, do you provide all the scripts, all the templates, all the tools, everything we're going to need, start to finish, turnkey, hold my hand, and implement it? And I always answer, well, I don't do the sales calls anymore, but when I used to, and I instruct our salespeople, the answer to that question is no. And the reason is because of this. Everybody says that they want that, then the minute you hand it to them and go, okay, well, here's the script, well, that doesn't sound like me. And it's like, right, so we can give you all the guidelines in the world, but at the end of the day, what coaching is intended to do is help people get over what's in here. And to give people an idea of how to create a plan. It's the overall strategy. It's helping them create a business that's customized to them. And too many programs are kind of these one-size-fits-all type of things. And it's like, well, here, we're going to shove you into our program, and it's going to be one-size-fits-all. And it doesn't work that way. And I think what really makes a coaching program valuable for people is if you understand that we're not here to teach you how to sell real estate. If you need help like knowing how to sell real estate, you have bigger problems that we can't help you with. We're here to help you build a business, and we're here to help you become the best business leader and best CEO that you can be. That's what the role of a coach is. And so that's why I'm the first to tell people I've never sold real estate as a professional a day in my life, but I've built incredibly successful businesses, and that's what we teach people how to do. Now, all of our coaches have sold real estate. That's one of the criteria for them, but for a number of different reasons. But the idea is basically that when somebody comes and works with us, we're going to help them put together that marketing plan, the business strategy, understand the 5 different phases and what they're going to be doing to create the systems and the processes and the tools, and put all of those things in their own words. Now, can we hand them scripts? Can we hand them templates, and do we? Absolutely. But do they all end up changing them anyway? Yeah, of course. So the agent who needs training, though, wants everything done for them, and if you want something done for you, you're not ready for coaching. And it's why we will actually turn more people away from our coaching program than we will actually accept into our coaching program, because we don't want the wrong people in there, because it's not fair to the coaches and it's not fair to the clients, and we want people who are really ready for coaching.
Now, how does somebody evaluate whether or not they're ready for coaching?
Usually, it comes down to if the very first thing is if you take personal responsibility, if you're able to look at everything you do and go, the reason my business is not where it needs to be is because of me. When you can admit that, and you can say it's not Zillow's fault, it's not Trulia's fault, it's not the other agent's fault, it's not the market's fault, it's not the economy's fault, it's not anybody else's fault but your own. That's the very first step for being ready for coaching. Now, when you start looking at coaching programs, what you want to look for is you want to look for somebody who has shared core values and who is going to approach business and life very much the same way. So there are coaches, and you want somebody who's going to come at it with a holistic strategy. So for example, there are people out there, and I'm friends with a lot of the coaches out there, and I have huge respect for them, but there's people that say, well, it's all about repeat and referral, or it's all about online and marketing and just generate a ton of leads, or it's all about cold calling, or it's all about scripts. I don't think it's about any of those, and I don't think it's not about any of those. I think what a good coach would do is help people identify and say, what type of business do you personally want? Do you like online lead generation? Do you like repeat and referral? Do you like cold calling? Do you like all of these things? What fits your personality? What fits your style? And then let's identify the strategies and the tactics and the plan that makes the most sense for you based off of who you are. Because what ends up happening is if you go into a program where they kind of shoehorn you in to a specific style, is you're going to get 12 months, 18 months, 2 years down the road, and you're going to realize this business isn't me. It's not my style. It's not my way of doing it. And so the people who are the biggest advocates of those types of programs, they fit that style, so they get in it and they're like, man, I'm home. But for everybody else, it's never a good fit because they bought the personality, not the understanding that I need to create a business that's completely customized to myself. And I've had people do it with me, is I'm not as big a personality as some of the other ones yet, and yet I've had people go, well, I want to coach with you, I want to coach with your program. We're like, great, let's interview you, and I'll have you talk with somebody, make sure you're ready for our program. What do you mean? Like you just don't take anybody? No, we just don't take anybody because it's not fair to you and it's not fair to the coaches. We want you to be ready for our program and to build a business. And if you're not ready to build a business and you're looking for somebody to do it for you, or you're looking for just specific strategies and for certain things, and hey, tell me how to do Facebook marketing, you're not ready for what we do, which is a lot more all-encompassing. We're going to talk about repeat referral, online. If you want to do cold calling, look, we'll help you do that. We don't recommend it, but we will help you do it. And that's what a good coach will do. Is we're not here to do it for you. We're here to help you become the best you and the best business owner possible. And anything else is not true coaching.
Brilliant, and sounds spot on. It absolutely sounds spot on. So core values, is that something that we should be able to find on somebody's website, or do we have to hunt for it, or do we have to ask for them to fax it to us?
You know, I think oftentimes you can identify it, whether it's actually listed out, here's our core values. I think what you find is that as you start, look, most of us, or at least a lot of the bigger ones, we have a lot of videos on YouTube, so you can go watch a ton of videos for me. You know, we release one every single week. I've got full talks on there. You can go to our website. You can see our blog. You can subscribe to this. I mean, we do webinar. There's a ton of different ways where you could find out about me, what I teach, and if you identify with it, you go, great. You can go listen to other coaches that are out there and go, do I identify and do I not just like them as a personality, but do I really identify with what they teach? You know, our big philosophy and our mission, our vision, everything is we help people create businesses that support their life, not businesses that run their life. That is everything that drives what we do. Do we help people make a lot of money? Yes. But if I help somebody make a lot of money, or coaches help somebody make a lot of money, but their marriage falls apart, their kids don't know their name, they're unhealthy, and they're on a fast track to a shallow grave, did we really succeed at helping them? In our model, no, we didn't, because a business is there to support the life that they want, not to run their life. Because I had a couple of businesses that ran my life, and I learned that if your business runs your life, there's only one direction it's going to run you, and that's straight into the ground. And so you've got to, in my mind, you've got to structure the business in a way that, yes, you make money, but you don't do it at the expense of the things that truly matter in this world. And it's not, happiness doesn't come from having more money. We all say that, and yet what do we all pursue? More money at the expense of the things that really do matter. So it's one thing to give lip service to, oh yeah, money can't buy happiness, but you look at most agents and you see how they're running their life, running their business. They're chasing the dollar, not understanding that they're building a business that should support those things that are most important in their life.
Well said, very well said. Okay, I know I'm going to get in trouble if I don't get this topic covered, and we did have a little bit of a break, so I'm going to go back to the marketing piece and specifically ask you to talk about luxury marketing. We've talked a little bit about the brand aspects and things like that, and I think that the people in the luxury set right now are running into a couple of different things. I mean, we found that buying a Jaguar or a Mercedes didn't necessarily bring us the clients. In fact, if we had a Jeep or a Prius, maybe we'd have a better chance. Is it all about image? Is it, you know, how much of it is being real and being yourself and having conversations on a really professional level? Luxury marketing.
I think it's both. I don't think it's either or. So, for example, you know, if you, like you said, if you just buy a Jaguar, buy a Mercedes, and show up at the country club, are you going to get clients? No, not necessarily. And yet you look at the luxury buyer, generally speaking, is very successful in business or in some sort of capacity. They're savvy. And so the level of conversation, they can spot somebody who's out of their element very, very fast. So you've got to walk in with a level of confidence in who you are. So if you are being disingenuous to who you are, they'll spot it, and you're just not gonna get the business, because they know that when push comes to shove, when under pressure, you're gonna crack. And so there's got to be a level of confidence, but you've got to be able to speak their language, and you have to be able to understand their lifestyle. They have very different needs and very different expectations from their realtor, from their lawyer, from the house that they buy, and so they're looking for a level of savviness that you've got to be able to demonstrate. And yes, look, you can be the savviest person in the world, and if you show up in a t-shirt and rip Levi cutoffs, you're just not going to get. You could be the most genuine person in the world, and you could pull up in a Mercedes. It's still not going to help you. And so there is, you want to think like them, and they're running in circles. They want to be around successful people, because they know that the people you surround yourself with are ultimately going to determine in a large way the trajectory of your life. And it's the same thing for their investments. This is an investment for them. Yes, they're going to get emotional about it. Yes, they're going to be frustrated at different times, but this is still an investment. So they're going to look at you and go, is this somebody I want handling this level of transaction for me? And so you've got to look at it very holistically and understand that, yes, it's your brand, it's understanding brand, it's creating a personal brand, but it's also showing up ready to play and showing that you understand that level that they operate with. And will a Mercedes help? Of course it will. Will showing up in a car that is not all that at that level, will that hurt? yeah, unfortunately it will, and we can say that it won't, we can say it shouldn't, but the reality is that it will, and so perception is reality in everything that we do.
Excellent. What kinds of trends are you seeing from a luxury marketing standpoint at this stage of the game?
I think what it comes down to is kind of this idea of service. It's not just about marketing the house, and you're not going to put a $25 million house on Zillow and expect it to sell. That's just not that's not how it's going to work. And so it's very much geared towards who you know. It's very network driven, so it's that relationship marketing. So if you get a luxury listing, and let's say let's $25 million, most people aren't going to get that, but let's say it's a $3 million listing or a $4 million listing or five, somewhere in there. How is it usually going to sell? Based off of the brokers that you know that deal with luxury clients, based off of your past luxury clients who know other people who might be interested in selling, based off of the relationships you have with international brokers or international agents, or within your brand, within your company, what sort of international connections do you have? That's usually what sells a luxury property. And so for most agents, they have to look at it and say, the very most important thing, if you want to deal with luxuries, you've got to build a well of relationships that are extremely rich. And I don't mean rich in terms of just money. I mean the relationships are rich in the sense that when you when you ask for something, when you reach out, they're going to respond because they respect you and they know you and they know the level in the game that you're playing. And they say, this is somebody who, if I introduce them to my friends, if I introduce them to somebody that I know, they're going to be taken care of. So I think the other thing that we're seeing is a service level that extends beyond even just the house part of it. So for example, a lot of luxury people, what they'll do is, let's say it's an out-of-town buyer and they're flying in. Well, they'll have a black car, pick them up at the airport, escort them to the property, open up the property, they'll give them a very white glove style treatment. They're going to make sure that they're taken care of, that when they're doing parties, when they're doing videos. By the way, if you're doing luxury property, video, you've got to, and we're talking big production, lifestyle videos. I think most people out here know who Raj Kassar is, just an absolutely brilliant marketer.
Yeah.
And the quality of video that is working right now for luxury is that. And you're dealing a lot of times too with a level of ego where if they know that you're going to create a feature film on their house, that's going to get play and that's going to get views, and it may not sell the house, but it creates a level of confidence in what it is that you're doing, and kind of that brag factor and that branding factor. And this is the world we're living in, and so you got to play at a completely different level and look at what are the services you provide. Staging. So if you're gonna go to a big $6 million house, don't assume that they decorated well, because a lot of them, just because you have a lot of money doesn't mean you have a lot of taste. And so you've got to market it well. You've got to know how do you stage it correctly. Bring in an interior decorator or interior designer to kind of look at everything, eyeball everything. Incredible photography. I mean, incredible photography and aerial views. I just go all out, and that's where you're starting to see that level of marketing is coming in, especially on the luxury side.
Absolutely. Okay, so I want to get into the last segment of the show, which is the opening the kimono. I don't know if you're familiar with this segment, but we're looking for your deepest, darkest secret to your success, or something that you do regularly that contributes to your success and your, truly, you're a force. And you've got a huge amount of energy, huge amount of excitement. What keeps you pumped up?
Okay, so this is going to sound so cliche, and I'll give you two things, because the first one's going to be like, oh yeah, of course he's going to say it. I freaking love what I do. Like, I wake up every day and go, I get paid to do this? This is nuts. Like, my very first speaking engagement, no joke, when I first started speaking, I didn't know about the coaching industry, didn't know about the speaking world. Somebody just invited me. They said, hey, do you want to speak to a room full of CEOs and executives? I was like, yeah, I have nothing to, I don't even know what I'm going to say. And I went in there and I got off stage. I actually brought my wife along because I was so afraid I was going to suck. And I was like, if I suck, I need somebody there at least clapping for me, like one person. just to, even if it's a sympathy clap, I don't care. Like, somebody's got to love me when I get off stage. I get off stage, I walk up to Lisa, and she goes, "Oh my gosh." I'm like, "That was so much fun." I'm like, "I've got to do this more." And she goes, "Yes, you do." And I was like, "I don't even know how to do this." So I started cold calling conferences. I was like, "Do you need a speaker? Do you need a speaker?" I was speaking for free. And finally somebody goes, "How much do you charge?" I'm like, "I could charge for this? What?" I was like, and being a complete idiot with the whole thing, I was like, $500, and like sold. I was like, crap, I should ask for more, and I should have, because I forgot about travel and expenses and hotel. So I got $500, and I had to pay for the flight, the hotel, everything, and like I was $1,500 into my own speaking engagement by the time it was done. But I kept doing it, and I love it, and I love helping people. I'm so passionate about business and helping small business owners, and that's what everybody in real estate is. That it truly, it makes me come alive. I love what I do, and that is truly my passion. If you love what you do, the old saying is, if you love what you do, you'll never work in a day in your life. Well, you do. You work a lot of days in your life, but there are those days, and there are those days it feels like work. But at the end of the day, I get to do it, and I get paid to do it, and it's not about the money for me. I mean, I don't wake up every day because of the money. I'm fine financially, so I don't need to do it for the money. I do it because I love seeing the change in people. I love seeing them, their business change, their life change. Now, the second thing, I'll be right back. All right, so the second thing I do every single day is this. It's a sheet, and I fill out this sheet every single day. And this sheet is basically, what are the 3 big projects that I'm working on? What are the things that need to happen? Who do I need to reach out today? Who are the people I'm waiting on? And what are the things that I have to complete today? Every single day I fill this out, and I work from this sheet, or internally we use Trello, Trello, to manage all of our stuff, like as a team. And so we have the do, doing, done board, but I've modified mine a little bit. So I have the do, doing, because the doing stuff is things that are kind of ongoing. So I have my today column in that. So what are the things that I'm focused on today? I have a waiting for column, and then I have a done column. So those are the different columns that I have. So it's a modified version of the do, doing, done, which is an old, I mean, gosh, that technique's what, 30, 40 years old, but it works if you work the system. And Trello is a great app for that, and we operate on that as a team. So it's a combination of this sheet and that. I know every single day when I come in what is most important, and it's why I get in early. Part of the reason I get in early is I pre-plan my day and a lot of times my team's day, because they need to know what they're focused on, and if our priorities have changed for any given reason, they've got to be aware of that, so when they come in, they're focused on doing what they need to do. And then delegating. Like, I'm a control freak. On a disc profile, I'm a high D, like 99 out of 100 D and 99 out of 100 I. So I'm like a party looking for a place to happen, and if there's no party, I'm going to organize it, and I'm going to control every detail of it, because it's like I'm high energy. You know, I'm ADHD, and some of you are like, no kidding. But, you know, this is...
I'm going to say your wife, she's going to be the one putting the beats on you, because you're going to be all over the place when that baby arrives. I can just see it now.
She's like feeling the baby move right now, and she's like, oh my gosh, she won't stop moving. I'm like, that's my daughter. And so she's like, I so hope she doesn't have your energy. I'm like, it's going to be so fun if she does. So, you know, I love what I do.
Oh my God, Travis, you are amazing, absolutely amazing. And you know, I mentioned this to you, but when we talked about you in the caffeinator group, so many people told me what you were going to be, and I'm like, you know, you hear things, and then you're like, well, let's see. And everything they said is absolutely true.
They tried to warn you, like, don't have him on the show. He's just going to.
Oh my God! A force.
Like, I'm standing right now because I can't.
A fire hose of information, an upbeat, just energetic ball of energy. You have it all. You have
I
it
can't,
all.
like I'm standing right now. I work at a standing desk most of the time because I'm like always moving. And so I do these interviews and I was doing one of these one time and somebody's like, "Are you standing right now?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Can you imagine me sitting in a chair? Like that's just not going to happen."
No, I think that the chair would be on the other side of the room.
It would.
Boom.
It
Uh,
would. So it's thank you. I mean, look, this is fun, and I'm so glad that people enjoy what it is that we do, and that to me it means a lot. Like at the end of the day, it's not about me; it's about what we're able to do for others, and so that people are responding to it and enjoy it and appreciate it. That's why I get up every day. So thank you for sharing that.
it's huge stuff. It's huge stuff. Okay, how do people get in touch with you and
Okay.
your company?
Two things I want to do. I want to give everybody on this a gift for just your listeners, and it's my way of saying thank you. So what I want to do is I want to give 3 marketing plans of our clients and our coaches to your listeners. So these are marketing
Wow.
plans that generate between a $500,000 and $1.25 million in gross commission income. And I'm going to give them all away. So if you want those marketing plans, go to travisrobertson.com/Kelly. So travisrobertson.com/Kelly, and you just put in your information. We'll get you signed up, and you'll also get added to our regular email newsletters and stuff, our videos that we send out every week and all that. And then if you want information on us, on what we do, go to travisrobertson.com. You can get a free coaching strategy session there if you want to. You're curious if coaching is right for you or if our program's right for you. It's a great way of kind of getting some information about us and what we do. So travisrobertson.com is kind of the hub for it all.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Thank you so much for the gifts for the audience. They wanted the marketing, and boy, did they get it.
Well,
Travis, it's been a pleasure. I hope you'll come back.
oh, dude, I'd love to come back. So, that would be fun. So thank you so much for having me. Thank you to everybody out there. This is great, and I look forward to connecting with all of you. Thank you.
Sounds terrific. Take care.
Take care.